And we're back, everybody. My name is SilverDollarSam. I'm a security engineer by day, and I do blockchain by night. Today, we're going to be talking about something really crazy, the lowering of Ethereum gas fees when you make a transaction on the Ethereum network. We're going to be talking about maximal extractable value and how that's contributing to censorship of the Ethereum network. And then last but not least, we're going to go back and talk about the market, where we're at and where we might be going. So without further ado, basically, on Thursday, the Ethereum core devs had a call where, among many things, they talked about EIP4844. EIP4844 is the EIP that talks about Proto-Danksharding. Now, Proto-Danksharding is the first step to getting Danksharding, which is essentially what we believe will be full EVM execution, that instead of occurring on layer 1, we can go ahead and shard those transactions off to a layer 2 chain, and that is able to make our transactions much cheaper. Well, Proto-Danksharding is the first implementation of this, and essentially the idea is that it's for data only, right? So call data in this current marketplace, it's about 16 gas per byte. And the idea is with Proto-Danksharding, where your actual data can be wrapped up, it can be put on a layer 2 solution, and then you've got a proof on your layer 1 that references the data availability on that layer 2. Well, that means that you have a significantly cheaper transaction, and so it's only 3 gas per byte. So this is massive. As we well know with the Ethereum Foundation, we don't know when they're going to implement anything. They don't put specific timelines on stuff, but they have talked about this on the recent Ethereum core dev call, and so that we know it's coming. So that's huge. Now, moving on to the next news. If you weren't aware, Ethereum is being censored, and it is being censored big time, guys. Currently, about 82% of relayed blocks, and I've seen it go, let's include all blocks, 72% of blocks that are being produced are OFAC compliant. OFAC is the Office of, I believe, Foreign Asset Control, and essentially what their job to do is they're supposed to identify, for example, like this is a terrorist bank account, and if you interact with that bank account and you're an American, you're going to get in a lot of trouble, right? And so the issue in this case is that we are using MEV software on top of validators because the validator wants to make more money than just the fee that they get from proposing blocks, from validating transactions and blocks. So what they're trying to do with MEV software is when they see arbitrages that are coming through the wire live on the fly, they're trying to take those transactions and conduct their own arbitrage so that they can pull more value out of their validator. And so the biggest supplier of this MEV software is a company called Flashbots. And Flashbots, they on their own are OFAC compliant. So we can see if we get rid of the non-MEV here, Flashbots makes up 75% of the current MEV market, which on its own is, at this current date of recording, that is 72% of the market as a whole. So that's massive, guys, and it's a huge thing to look out for. So because at the current status, we have an entire base layer of Ethereum that's experiencing censorship from the U.S. federal regulators and agencies. And so this is huge. And so Vitalik Buterin, let's go back to my screen. Vitalik Buterin basically commented on this, and I retweeted this on my Twitter. By the way, Twitter handle will be in the description. Please go ahead and give me a follow. But he went ahead and he commented on this because OFAC started to censor smart contracts. He posted basically and also what he said is that his short-term censorship resistance strategy has been dropped basically because because of the work that Flashbots is doing. And then he posted this post from the Flashbots website about network resilience, which was in response, of course, to OFAC broadening their sanction addresses to include smart contracts. You can go and read this, and this will be in the description as well. But what I wanted to focus on was the Suave network, essentially, because the Suave network is the Flashbots solution to ensuring that MEV is going to be decentralized. Their idea is basically you make this Suave, which is an independent network, right? And this independent network acts as basically a plug-and-play solution for the mempool and decentralized block builder. Mempool is just where transactions sit in memory on a validator before they actually are proposed as blocks. And the block is built, right? And so the idea is that they're going to create an independent network that on its own is decentralized, where you're going to have all these different kinds of plug and play, mempool, and block builder solutions. And so hopefully this plays out in a way that allows for sufficient decentralization where you have a matter of choice. The reason why everybody chooses Flashbots as their MEV solution and why we have 82% of blocks or 70 some odd percent of blocks being censored by OFAC is because Flashbots, even though they have the OFAC compliance, they are the solution that gives you the most MEV. They give you the most cheddar on top of your bacon, right? And so that's why validators are choosing it, because validators have a lot of money locked up in this whole thing, right? They're trying to make sure that they get their worth. And so when you have a solution like Flashbots, that's what happens. So look. Now that we've talked about Flashbots, now we've talked about the risk and the existential risk, because it is an existential risk, right? Once again, if Ethereum does not find a way to get rid of this issue of censorship, then we put into place the question of the validity of Ethereum in the first place. Because what makes crypto and what makes Bitcoin and Ethereum better than our current financial system that is failing us is the fact that it is an open system. It is a system that allows for all players to interact on a means that's at least fair, right? On a means that is viewable to everybody, where everybody has a share of this pie. And so it's upsetting that currently we have majority of blocks being censored. So look, let's talk about the markets real quick here, guys. So most people on crypto Twitter, they're looking at this one little line in the sand here at 10,000. Since we last talked, not a whole lot has changed. We last talked about Genesis and DCG. The update there is basically, they have some time and they've bought themselves some time with their creditors. And so the issue of whether or not they're going to be unable to plug their hole is probably okay now. Of course, they do have a great income stream. So from the GPTC Trust. And so for the moment, no dump. Maybe no dump. But it's where we've got to think about the traditional markets outside of cryptocurrency, of where we might go up or where we might go down. Because right now in the traditional markets, right, we've been experiencing a bit of a run up, as we talked about before on this channel, right? We've got currently it's up about 14 some odd percent. And the reality here is I just don't see this getting up to its previous peak. And so what I'm seeing is lower highs. And so hopefully that would mean, some kind of dump here to the downside. And if we do see a dump here in the S&P 500, then going back to crypto, we will probably lose this thin little position we're at right now, because at least from what I could tell, I don't see any support, going back in the history here. I don't see any support that we're seeing at all, right? And so what I imagine is that it'll either be a slow bleed, right? A slow bleed down to 10, 12, what have you, or something unforeseen is going to come out of the blue and we'll have a quick jump downwards. So that's the markets right now, folks. And that's all I've got for you at the moment. I appreciate you tuning in. I want you guys to like, subscribe, comment down below. I put a lot of work into trying to understand what's going on in this market, and I will continue to do that to keep you well informed. Hit that bell so you are notified the next time I post, and thank you so much. Have a happy day, Cowboys.